Hi, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Sunday support session. And tonight we're interviewing Sandra Vick, who is a Pennycook-based artist. And yeah, and she has gone from a painter and artist onto an entrepreneur and a retailer and wholesaler. And she's just about to go into John Lewis, and her work is absolutely fabulous. So I thought she'd be great to get along for some hints and tips on how to grow your business. So, hi and welcome. You are on Made in Midlothian. We are a local community interest company, and we're all about celebrating the arts in Midlothian. And I am Renee Bell. I run Renee. I knew I wasn't going to have my words tonight. Yellow Door Studio, which is a small pottery studio. And I'm also founder and managing director of Made in Midlothian. So you are watching this. We're hoping these sessions are going to be helpful for people. It's a really tough time for all the small businesses right now. We are delivering all our online work for free. We do, however, have a fundraiser attached. If you can, it'd be great. Even the tiniest amount, it really helps. But don't worry if you can't. You can like, share, and comment to show your support and show us what's working and what you want to see more of. It would be great. So tonight we have Sandra Vick. So I would just put her in now. Hi, Sandra.
Hello.
Oh, you are there. I didn't think we had sound for a minute there.
Oh.
How are you this evening?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you've got all your beautiful work behind you. So can you tell us a little bit about where you started? So your work, is it all prints or paintings? Prints, sorry, I mean like ink printing. How do you go about it, and where did you begin?
I guess
We're
where
going
did I
straight
begin?
in, aren't we?
How far back do you want me to go for how did it all begin? I mean, I trained as an artist late.
Still.
Fact, I went back to art college in my early 30s after, because my first degree was banking, insurance and finance back when I was 17, 18. And then my 29, my dad died. He got cancer really quickly. He was only 56, and he left us I've got a brother and a sister, and he left us this long letter about don't waste your life doing what you don't want to do. Make sure that you make the most out of your life. Do the things you never want to, because you never know when it's going to finish. It's really important, which made me go back. At the time I was working at what was Queen Margaret College, then Queen Margaret University College, whatever it is now, as an economics lecturer. And that made me go, this isn't what I want to do. I've always wanted to go to art college. So I then went to Leeds School of Art and did their foundation course, which is fantastic, I have to say. And then I went to Edinburgh College of Art and did their BA honours in painting. And then I did their masters in painting as well. I think it's painting, fine art, master's degree anyway. And then I got pregnant with my eldest, and at that time had been doing paintings that were, I guess, abstract paintings that were based on wildlife and nature, and mostly actually down my allotment. I had an allotment when I lived in Edinburgh. And lovely. I used to do, and I loved paintings and flowers, and I used to do these sort of big abstract works. And I remember sitting there at my degree show and listening to people's comments, and so many people would come past. Lots of people loved them, and I sold them and everything. It was great. But so many people didn't get the abstract. And I thought, what I really want to do is tell people how amazing our local flora and fauna is, because everybody knows about tigers and elephants and flamingos and penguins, but they don't know about the really cool stuff that we have in this country. So that set me off looking at some of the local birds in particular. And then I moved out to Pennycook, and in Pennycook I had a garden, and I was able to have bird feeders just outside. And suddenly the bird feeders went from, in Edinburgh, in my third floor flat, we'd get like a blue tit once a month, and that was really exciting, the blue tits on the feeder. But now then suddenly we were getting loads of different birds, and I sat there drawing them all, and that's when my work sort of grew into being about birds. And at the time I was pregnant, so I wanted to stop doing oil paintings because there's lots of chemicals and stuff involved in it, and the same with doing printmaking and stuff. So I went on to doing acrylic paintings, And this is, I guess, what you see behind me is the
So
result
those are
of
all acrylics.
those. They're all acrylic paintings. Lots of people say,
Oh, that's
so how do you
amazing.
print those then? And
Yeah, I assumed you've been using some sort of ink, almost. Oh, I'm not sure. I guess. Yeah, I assumed they were some sort of ink based. Oh, that's amazing that they're acrylics.
so they,
Lovely. And a great story. Sorry, the internet cut out right at the start of it.
Oh,
And appears to be doing a little bit again. Could you speak for a second? Are we still?
I can speak. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm here still.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Excellent. I can hear you.
Right.
I think we're all good. It seems to be fine. There seems to be a small lag or something tonight, but
yeah.
Hey ho.
I was going to say that seems to be a bit of a pandemic lag, isn't it? It's like the whole time, whatever you do, the internet just disappears, just like that. You're like, where's
it's shouting
it
through the house and
yes,
everybody watching something on a screen.
Yes, exactly.
Got work to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's where you started. So what does business look like now? Because it's changed quite a lot. Oh, sorry, I should say hi to Janie, who's joined us here. Hi, Janie. Lovely to see you. If you are watching, please say hi. Mary says it's the internet's fine and we're all good. So hi, Mary, as well.
That's good.
But so we're all good there. But yeah, please comment and say hi. And you can also, if you have any questions for Sandra, please pop them on. We'll do our best, won't we?
Yeah,
she's looking at me like, you only gave me your questions. Go on, challenger. So where are you now? And what led you there?
Well, now I guess is another 15 years down the line, because obviously I was a child when I went to art college. I'm still painting, but more as I suppose now I'm also supplying to, I think I've got about 30 or 40 retail outlets across Scotland and England, and I've even got one through in Switzerland. I sell retail on my website. I've just been doing a Kickstarter to try and launch some notebooks, which has now moved on to a Kickstarter on my website. So if anybody's watching and likes notebooks and wants to have a little look on my website at that. And last year I managed to get into the Gift of the Year finals, and also I won a prize at the British Craft Trade Fair stand as well, which was really good. So those are all really exciting things. And then this year, the biggest thing definitely is the getting to do a pop-up at John Lewis, I have to say. Because John Lewis, it's like when I've started them. So I suppose backtracking a little bit is, now I do lots of mugs, jugs, a bit of product placement, a nice mug, all in here. I've got espresso cups and all sorts of things. And those sort of came about because lots of people I know can't afford original art. It just doesn't feature in their lives, and it's just not affordable at all. But lots of people really liked my work, and then I got approached by Edinburgh Arts, who are the picture framers on George IV Bridge?
Oh yes,
North Bridge, North Bridge, Nicholson Street, the one down by Festival Theatre. And they asked if they could publish my work as prints and cards, so which made me go, well, that's a good idea. See, I could do that. And then because at the time I was actually already doing some cards myself, but I thought, well, they could do those and I could do something else. And lots of people kept saying, oh, could you not do them in something that we could have in our house, like mugs or something like that, cushions or something like that, because it'd be really nice as that. And I started thinking, well, yeah, because lots of people can't afford real art, so maybe that's actually a really good way. Although it sounds as though you're going into business, it actually fits in with what I want to do as an artist as well, which was bring nature to everybody and not just make it something that's in the gallery. It's actually something that's for everybody and in everybody's house and everything. So I thought, well, the prints are going to do that because they're obviously cheaper than a painting, and the cards do that too. And so I thought, well, maybe I start off with a few mugs. So I started off with a few mugs, and I think I got 50 done the first time, and that was about 4 years ago now. And then those 50 sold.
Wow, is that all? That's
And then I bought another 50. So I used the sort of 50, the profit from those 50 to buy another 50, and so 100, and then it sort of expanded, and then I got some fabrics printed and had cushions and wash bags and things, and then it's just sort of grown from there, really. And all I keep doing is reinvesting and expanding, because it's, you know, to sort of get known as a brand, you need shops like to have a reasonable range to choose from, so you end up having to do quite a wide range. But that's it. And so now that's where I am now. Now I'm trying to work out how to still get to do painting. That's the hardest bit.
But you find it complements really well, don't you? Because your paintings sell well and high because of all the other work as well, doesn't it? Is that the way you find it?
Definitely.
Really nice.
And certainly when I'm at trade shows, people will come up to me and go, "Oh, I've got your prints in my gallery. Oh, of the mugs, that's a good idea. I'll take mugs too." And I think that they do. And people, you know, people can find out about you from either way.
Absolutely. And I think there's a big movement towards sort of that everyday art as well, and that we don't have to have ugly things in our lives, especially since lockdown. I think everyone's realized that, you know, suddenly what you have in this house that you use every day is important, and, you know, it should be special and valued. Certainly I've found that with my work. I've had, you know, that's what people want. They want things that are sort of sentimental and
I think so. And I think you start to realize that if, you know, when you have to spend all day, every day in your house, suddenly the mug that you drink from is actually important, because it's nice to pick something up and go, "Oh, this is so lovely. I like this," you know, because everything else isn't great. And the same with artwork on your walls. And, you know, you start to realize that, okay, so you do have your bargain stuff that you bought from wherever, but well, it does the job, but it's not lovely in a sort of, "Oh, this is a nice thing" sort of way. It's just does the job. Who is it that says?
And when you look at the use for the money for use of a mug or something, it's, you know, it's nothing. You use it every day at least.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's it. And as long as you don't break your mugs all the time, then, you know, when you start working out the cost per use, I guess it gets down pretty low.
Yeah. Sorry, that's my internet cutting. Yeah, no, you're still there. You're fine. Just a little bit. I did catch what you said. It's fine. Apparently, it's not for everybody else. Yeah, Janie's saying, "Well done with the pop-up. John Lewis are lucky to have you. I can see you going so far with them. It's a good call on their behalf."
Well, hopefully so. It's the way.
So well.
Yeah, it's hard to get in front of their buyers, so it's the way to get in front of their buyers, I guess. But you just got to hope that the sales are good, so that they see the sales. As long as everybody's not suddenly sent down into that. Yeah, that's it. As long as no one's sent down into lockdown again, then we'll be fine.
Yes. Well, I mean, I was just scanning my questions as you were saying that, going, actually, this is a question I had for you. So how did you go about getting your work into John Lewis? What was the process behind that?
They have a call out. There's a company called the Great British Pop-Up. I can't remember exactly their name now. But they manage the pop-ups in John Lewis. And so these pop-ups come up in every John Lewis store across the country. And so you apply, and if they like your work, then they let you come and have a stand.
Oh, that's a brilliant tip. That's brilliant. I didn't know that there was a sort of separate internal. Yeah, of course. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So you just applied for that. Excellent. That's great to know. Do you do a lot of like trade fairs and stuff then, or?
Yeah, I do. So each year I do the Scotland's Trade Fair, which is through in Glasgow in January, and that's where all of the shops from across the north of Scotland and the islands and everyone all come down to do their buying each year. So and it's lots of fun as well. You get to know loads of people, and it's for me as well. The business side of it is really nice, because I do like to chat, and I don't get to do that when I'm at home on my own doing my painting. I like being on my own at home doing my painting, but I also like to be able to go and chat when I want to. And
Yeah, it's good to have a mixture, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and I think that's where I really like the trade shows, because you end up as sort of like a set of colleagues, I suppose, at the trade shows, because you get to know other stallholders and chat to them, and you learn a lot at them as well, because you learn other people come and give you advice, or you see other people doing things and think, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I should do something like that. Oh, I hadn't thought about doing that.
Or look, there's a supplier that does breadboards.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. I know I must think about that. But yeah, it sounds like you're the second person, I think, to mention the Scotland Trade Fair. So if you're ever looking to get into it, that sounds like it's exactly the place to start. Do you tend to take samples? Do you take samples and then they order the amount, or do you have to have it all ready? Sort of, is that onus on you as a seller?
Yeah, you set up a stand to display all of your work, and you have, I have a stand that last year's stand was made out of old pallets. It's all built up and things, but it's all painted grey and it's done as a nice background. In fact, I think last year's. And you take an example or a sample of everything that you do. You have a trade catalogue and a price list, so that they can see and they can take it away, because often they'll come round, collect it, go for coffee, and then choose what it is that they want to buy from you. Certainly in Scotland, they tend to come round and straight away they go, right, yes, we would like this many of this, and this, and you have to take down the order, and they know that and then you've got to give them a rough idea of how long it'll take you to provide that stock.
Yeah.
So, you say a sort of 4
to 6 weeks. But they're okay with a lead time then?
Yeah.
That's important, because otherwise it really is on the maker to produce it first, and that's a big risk. No,
and particularly, I mean, if you're making something yourself, each individual item as well, then I mean, you're going to have that lead time. But the good thing is that because the trade fair's at the end of January, quite a lot of the companies, lots of shops don't open until the May time, because they're based up in Orkney or up on the islands and Skye and places, and they don't want their new stock until May time, really, because up till then they're still selling off any stock from last year, because they want to get rid of that, and they don't necessarily want anything new. So you've got, often you've got 4 months to get things made.
Yeah, that's certainly for me would be necessary.
That's what I was thinking.
Not the fastest. Not quite a production potter yet. It'll be a little while until I can make your mugs for you, I can tell you. They have to get very fast.
I think we just need to think big, something nice and big with a design.
Yeah, I'm picturing some nice big urns or vases or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I like the picture in there. The picture in. Very good.
Oh, some of my big tall jugs would be perfect. Yes. Oh, what do people think? I was like, do we have enough commenters here? Enough people watching? Would you buy a beautiful big jug done with birds around it, hand thrown on the pottery wheel? It'd be nice.
It would
we'll get on it.
I'd buy one.
Yeah. So, what else have I got on my list for you? So was your first move into retail, was that in the trade fairs then? Was that your first sort of step?
Yeah, I started off, I suppose, initially, what did I do first? First of all, actually, I went to, I don't know if you've heard of some of these shops that sell you, or they rent you a shelf. So there's
yes.
Why Not in North Berwick. I haven't used Why Not, but they do that. They're popping up in Stockbridge. I sold stuff through them. The Scottish Design Exchange down at Leith, at the terminal.
Yep.
They now have one through in Glasgow too, and that Lorraine Miller's there too.
Lorraine's beautiful hairs.
Exactly.
And Lorraine saying yes, she would buy
it. Good on you. And so I sold through those first. And then there was actually there's a gallery in Dollar owned by Becky. It's called the Green Gallery, and Becky suggested I come along to look around the trade show because she'd seen that I was selling through people, and Becky sells my stuff in her gallery, and galleries take stuff, as you'll know, on a sale or return type basis.
Yeah, sale or return.
That's it. And I was talking to her about that, and she said, well, why don't you come along to the trade show and have a little look and see, whether you think that's the sort of thing you want to do. So I went along with her to the trade show, and that was really good, because there I bumped into Kristin Hunter, who she owns Whiskey Frames.
That's why. Yes, she's done amazingly.
That's it. Yeah, and I bumped into her. She was having one of her first, I think maybe her first or a second trade show, I think. And I was at art college with her, so she's in the same year as she's on the same masters as I was. And so it was great to catch up with her and find out from her, how it goes and what you do and all that kind of stuff. And I just thought, maybe I should just give this a go, and it will work as alongside the paintings, and it'll be another thing for me to do. And it might, it's a way of getting stuff out into people's homes so that it's not just a few paintings, and it's expanding it. It's a completely different thing, I thought. So.
Yeah. I think Lorraine, who's saying hi, is actually looking at doing that herself. She's started to think about fabrics, I think, wasn't it, Lorraine? I think I saw you were looking into fabrics, and I thought, oh yes, the hairs on fabrics would be lovely. It does seem to be a really clever way to make everyday art and affordable art, and I've lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I've got really bad pins and needles, which is why I keep shuffling. My foot's gone dead.
I was going to say, I think there are still at the trade show. The trade shows have got a real mix of people at them as well. So there are people like yourself who hand make things, and there's quite a lot of the shops like things that are made in Scotland and made by the person who's selling them. I have had shops say to me, oh, do you get all your things made in Scotland? And I can't, because nobody in Scotland can make them for me. And they've then gone, oh, well, in that case, we're not interested. And it's hard. It's hard as well, because people walk past and you think, I know your shop. My stuff would be really nice in your shop, but you obviously don't think so.
It would definitely sell.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Lorraine's saying yes, she's doing cushions and wallpaper.
Oh, yeah, I've thought about wallpaper. Yeah. So
I thought about wallpaper for the picture that is above your head right now. I thought could make a beautiful. What do you call the strip? When you just put a strip up.
Yes, I don't know. What is that called?
Oh, I can't remember what it's called. There's a name for it, but you put like a strip near the ceiling. I thought it could be really cool.
Just have starlings around your whole house. Too many people have said that. People keep saying it's like having the ravens that circle above in the Alfred Hitchcock's films. I go, no, the starlings.
The starlings, actually, once you think about that, now that's all you can see.
That's it. You
shouldn't mention that to people. Don't tell that story.
The cool thing about starlings is that starlings used to be kept in cages. And some of the reason I initially got interested in starlings was because I was really interested in the sort of the story behind the birds and the social history of them, and how they got their names, what their names were, and the fact that there's tons of different names for them all, and that no matter which bit of the country, they've got their own special pet name for them. And I also got really interested in their stories, and looking at the starlings are used to be kept in cages because they can be taught to speak the same that parrots can. So they would be kept, and then they would mimic. Yeah, if you look up on YouTube, starlings talking, and you'll come across loads of them that do that.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah, so I was really interested in that whole idea of that. Now everybody just thinks about starlings being the ones that make a mess of your washing because they come down all over it. And, it's like, and they're really noisy, and they do those amazingly beautiful murmurations, which are absolutely incredible. But
I saw one just the other day.
They can talk. Yeah, so they can
starlings. Talk. Was it this time of year? It must be this time of year for starlings.
Yeah, the juveniles are. So there's in Pennycook, there's a local murmuration at the moment that's a friend of mine reckons there's about 200 birds in it now, and it's all the juveniles that are all just starting to group up. But it's not until the autumn that you get the big, enormous murmurations that you get down at Gretna and places like that. So, although we have had one, I think it was about 5 years ago, there was quite a big one in Pennycook. Trouble is that they ruin the trees that they roost on because they flew all over it and they destroy it, and it just means the tree sometimes doesn't recover from a
I think I've seen that. But they can talk, and that wins. So whatever trouble they can get into, they're clearly. Lorraine's saying, look up Bear Branding. They're a Leith community interest company, and that does sound very interesting. No, I've never heard of them either. And I will have to look them up after this. In fact, that was actually something I was going to ask you, which I'm not sure I put on my questions, so I'm going to throw this one in there. I know. I was going to ask you how you found your suppliers and people to print your work, and how does that work? Do you send your artwork to them or pictures of?
So when you say, how do I find them? How do you actually know that they exist? Type of thing. To be able to get it's like a nightmare to try and find them. Most of them are relatively small companies. They are awful at SEO, so you can't find them on the internet. You'll put stuff in and the only thing that comes up is the stuff in China, and it's really difficult to find the companies that are actually in Britain. And because for me, I really wanted it to stay in Britain, because I thought there are places in Britain. Okay, I can't get them in Scotland, but I can get it in Britain, and so there's no reason why I should need to use China. Yeah, that's it. They should be. But it's really difficult to find them and really difficult to find out. And in the end, I must admit, a lot of them I found out by being at the trade shows, and I've had a couple of people come and approach me at trade shows, and then other people, we all tend to sort of talk to each other about who supplies our stuff, because some suppliers are better known than others, and people have got stories about them, and some people go, oh, these are amazing people, they're really good, and you get to know who's good and who will help you and things. And
who's got good service and all that.
And who does. And it's a lot harder to make any money out of the trade stuff, because the markup is so much. You've got to, whatever the trade people pay you, you multiply by 2.4 to get up to the retail price. So basically, the normal retail price that you do, you divide by 2.4, and that's how much you get per item from trade, which ends up, some things you end up like making hardly anything, and it really is a matter of, it's bulk really is the way of getting it, and you have something. And so,
but it also sells the paintings, I guess, and so you have that bit of added value as well, and gets your name out there and builds your brand.
Exactly. Yeah, it does, and it does.
But
I mean, that's, if anybody's thinking about wholesale, then that that is I suppose the downside of wholesale is that you do have to get the volume, and it is expensive to do, because it's expensive to go to the trade show, and all the shops are expecting a 2.4 markup as minimum. Some of them are looking higher than that, which does make it. And there's just a limit to how much. Costs.
How much they can sell it for too, and and so, but what are the upsides? Like, what are the benefits of doing retail and wholesale like that?
It's how you get your name out there. I think it's in a lot of ways, some of the things that don't make very much, you have to sort of see them like marketing, I suppose. It's like, for every shop that buys 200 mugs from me, that's 200 people that are going to have my name in their house. And and also in Scotland as well, because it's all the shops around the north of Scotland, lots of the people that go there come from Europe, and they will take one home with them as well. And and it's just gradually getting your name out there, and you get better known. And sometimes people will come onto my website because they've got a mug, and then they go, oh, she does paintings as well, and then they'll get a painting, or they start off with a print, and then they realize that I do mugs, and it sort of, it builds up. It's the whole thing. Each little bit.
I guess there's also something in having that range as well. So it's something that I found really successful with my pottery is actually doing loads of different things, because I am looking for sort of that 1,000 true fans idea versus loads and loads of customers that never return again, having people that really are invested in you as an artist, and your work, and there's a limit to how many mugs they'll buy, but oh look, they've got tea towels now. And
yeah.
Absolutely. What else is on my list? I think we're hitting what I usually try to aim for the time wise. I think we've done. Oh, last one. So, well, do you have any other hints or tips? Do you think? Is there anything that
for people
comes to mind?
Thinking about wholesaling?
Yeah.
Do your costs. Really do look at your costs and look at whether it's going to work.
Yeah.
And have a look at how much things
I need to do that.
Prices and stuff is tricky as well. But also, don't be pushed by the shops into not basically paying for them to take it away from you. You don't want to do that. You do want to
know.
Yeah.
Get an empty studio.
I know it does. It does have its appeal.
Can I do it with the rest of my house? Like, just take it away.
Just take it away.
You have to take all of it.
Business Gateway are great. I have to say, Business Gateway have been brilliant. They've been good. There's loads of information on there, and there's also a group called Sell Like an Artist. That's a really good group to be in.
Yes,
the lady that does
just
that.
tapped in that.
Yeah, and there's loads of stuff on there, and there's lots of people selling as well, and from all over the world, which is useful too. But she's got lots of sort of advice on how to approach retail shops, and how to not approach them, how to email them, how to contact them, what research to do, and just do your research and go.
And lastly, is there anything you do differently? Is there anything you think, oh gosh, why did I ever?
No, because I think most of it, you learn something from it. I mean, there's things now that, I suppose I'd look back and go, oh, I wish that hadn't happened. But if you do that, from it, even if something didn't particularly work out, you've learned loads from it, and I mean, the learning curve when you start doing stuff wholesale is, it's just, you're learning something new every day. And every time you take on a new supplier, you've learned from the last supplier, and, you just gradually, you build up that expertise, and then you become the person that people go, who would you use if you were going to make this? Because you've already done it, it's, and that's nice.
I was actually going to say that when you said about talking to, who was it? It was another artist Kirsty of Whiskey Barrels.
Kristen Hunter, yes.
Kristen. For some reason, her name, every time I'm like, that's really familiar. The Whiskey Barrels. You spend whatever we are, live Facebook feed thing, helping other people, and like that just keeps ticking on. And it's really lovely having you here. Helping people, and I found that incredibly useful, so hopefully other people did too, and thank you so much for coming on. It's been absolutely lovely to have you, and we shall see more of your work. We should say, where can we find you?
You can find me. You can find me. I have my obviously I've got my website, which is www.sandravick.co.uk, where at the moment I have a competition going for, if you sign up to my email mailing list for my newsletter, then you get entered into a competition for travel mugs and 2 latte mugs. And also you'll find details about my notebook launch with how to pre-order to help me get there. And there is a map on my website somewhere that shows you where all the different retailers are that I supply. The lovely thing I think in the end is that so Edinburgh Arts, who initially sort of pushed me on this sort of print thing, and they took me on to publish my prints and my cards, now buy back mugs from me to sell. So it's quite a nice sort of circular economy going on there.
Yeah, that's great.
So the prints sell the mugs, sell the prints, sell the mugs.
Yeah, yeah, it seems to be working really well. So good luck to you, and I look to see you in every home, just like Emma Bridgewater, in the next 5 years.
Absolutely. That would be amazing. Unlikely, but amazing.
Well, I don't know. I can see it happening. All right. Thanks, Sandra. Good night.
No, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for joining me tonight. It was really nice to see you here. If you are watching on replay, please feel free to pop your comments in the comments. Apparently, I'm losing my words again. You can join me next week. We've got Jo Dunlop, and she is talking about marketing yourself, your work, and why it's so important. And she's been in the marketing game for a long time now, so really lucky to have her on board, giving us some hints and tips. So I hope to see you then. Lastly, again, if you can donate to the fundraiser, that would be fantastic. If not, again, like, comment, share. It's really great it makes such a difference. And on that note, good night, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye. Ooh, should have said that.